Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Harry Boomer, your host and executive producer of CLE 43 Focus. This morning we're going to be talking with Damon DeFries and his wife, Tanya DeFries. If that last name sounds familiar, here's why. His daughter, Aliana DeFries, was abducted on her way to school back in January and found murdered days later. It was a crime that shook greater Cleveland and angered people all over the state of Ohio. It also sparked a movement to better protect our children as they make their way to and from school. Patrols of fathers sprung up, and Mr. DeFries was among those who called for the village to rise up and to shepherd our children safely in what has become all too often the dangerous terrain, the mean streets of Cleveland. Aliana's kidnapping and subsequent murder also led to a bill being introduced in Columbus called Aliana's Alert. It will alert parents right away if their children do not show up at school as scheduled. I want to be sensitive about this, Aliana's fate, because of this taping is happening on her birthday, June the 12th. Her family is commemorating what would have been her 15th birthday. Damon and Tanya, thanks for coming in, especially on what must be a very difficult day for you and your family. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Again, my public condolences to both of you for the loss of Aliana. All of us felt that loss. We all came to love her. We have the balloons here to celebrate her birthday. We'll talk about that. So how are you guys doing? I mean, this is going to be a difficult time.
Yes, it is. It's difficult, especially today being her birthday. We're grateful. We're grateful for the strength that we've been given, and we continue to press on to make change.
Tanya, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's difficult because it's her birthday, but I prayed about it this morning, and every morning I pray about it, and the Lord will get us through this.
Take us back a bit. I mean, all of Cleveland was just shocked and saddened by what happened to Aliana. We knew she was missing and that she was found days later. When you got the word that something wasn't right, talk to us, take us back. I don't want to overly tax you, but I think people need to know how you felt and what you're feeling.
We received a phone call that evening from Aliana's biological mother. My wife and I were sitting at home watching a movie. We received a call approximately 5:30 that evening. And her mother asked us, did we pick her up from school? And we let her know that we didn't pick her up from school. And she said, well, I never made it to school. It's 5:30 in the evening. Our next question is, why are you just not finding out? She said she just called the school and I just let her know. So we immediately got dressed and we headed towards the direction of Aliana's school where she was residing there with her mother. We began to search. Family collectively got together. Cleveland police were there. They were very diligent in their efforts. We appreciate their support as always. And it was a hard day. It was a hard thing to accept. And she was missing. Nowhere to be found. And the baby's missing at the dead of winter. Or any time for that matter. It's definitely something that moves me.
And all of Cleveland, as I said before, was moved by it. We got to take our first break. We'll come back and talk more. Damon is the father of murdered teen Aliana DeFries. She would have been 15 now if she had lived. The Ohio Attorney General's office says parents reported nearly 19,000 children missing in 2015. Though 97% of them were found unharmed, 4 of them were killed. 563 of them have never been found. So those are daunting stats, and unfortunately you fall in that category when your daughter went missing and was found, but she was found murdered. And we were talking about, the impact that had on you the day of. Her being missing mobilized this community. Her being found, of course, saddened this community because she was found murdered. But talk to us about the kinds of things that have come about as a result of that having happened. When you were searching and searching and finally found, and then the kinds of things that went on since then.
You speak of the numbers. Children missing, the ones that have been found, the ones that have never been found. The house that Aliana was found in, there's 83 sexual predators living within a mile radius of that home. Something's not right with that. Are they being released from prison to a certain area? Are these numbers false or some type of way manipulated?
I can tell you that they're not false and they're not being released specifically to that area. You can type in your zip code in any place in Cuyahoga County into the sheriff's database, and you can find out how many sexual predators live within your area, within your zip code. and there are literally hundreds in almost every zip code in Cleveland and Greater Cleveland. It's amazing. They go to prison, they spend their time, they have to register, but if you type in your zip code, you'll see there are literally hundreds. It's scary how many there are. And they say that a sexual predator or molester can never be cured. I don't know that that's the deal, but it stands to reason that's what the experts say. So it is disconcerting to have that many all over the place. You just don't know who's living down the street from you.
I started a petition. Sexual predators need to be monitored upon release from prison. We need to know where they are and what they're doing. They can give an address where they're residing at, but often enough they're not there. They use that address for a smoke screen while they're somewhere else doing what sexual predators do. If we can alleviate and take down these buildings, which the Aliana DeFreeze and Make a Change Foundation stands to do, then this will some type of way deter the predator's way of thinking. I'm hoping, I'm praying. We have to make change. We have to start somewhere.
Yeah, and this is a good place because there are literally hundreds, about thousands at one point, more than 10,000 abandoned and aborted houses in Cleveland. A lot of those have come down, but there's still far too many all over the city, and they are just dumping places, if you will, for all kinds of drug use and, unfortunately, young people who were innocent of anything outside of just wanting to be a young person. Tanya, talk to me a little bit about this being Aliana's birthday and what you're feeling and what you want to celebrate about her shortly.
Well, it's her birthday, and I would have loved for her to be here, but since she's not, we celebrate her birthday just like we have every day since she's been gone. It don't have to be her birthday. We celebrate what she meant to us. And it's hard. But we're gonna get through it. You know, we're gonna stop by her plot today and put her balloons and stuff on there for her. And we're gonna continue to make change in her honor. Because the Aliana DeFreeze Let's Make a Change Foundation, that's our goal, to make change in the community, and hopefully it can make change everywhere.
It's just amazing how much that beautiful smile is being missed by so many people. And of course, I say again publicly how much we miss her and give her our condolences to the Freeze family. But Damon, talk about it. I mean, you know, we all think that our children will be here well past when we're here. To have lost a 14-year-old, to have lost a daughter, it's got to be hard. How do you get through it?
By the grace of God, my wife, strong circle, family and friends.
Couldn't get that car for me. I'm sorry, man.
Strong circle of family and friends. You know, I have 4 daughters. Aliana's the 3rd oldest. And I often think about walking down the aisle, having children, and all that went away. All that went away.
The monster who did this has been arrested. He has not yet been convicted. He's pleaded not guilty. It's just hard to fathom why somebody would see an innocent child on her way to school and decide, oh, I'm going to take her, rape her, and murder her, and then go about my days and nothing ever happened. That's just unfathomable to me.
Well, these animals just don't do that on the spur of the moment. This tragedy, I feel in my heart, was planned. It was plotted out. He watched her on the bus by herself, and she should have been accompanied by her mother, like I would have done had she been under my roof. I would have got on the bus with her. I would have rode her to school, make sure she got off, went into school, and then if I wasn't working, I would have went back home. Those are the steps that should have been taken if they wanted.
Well, oftentimes, and lots of parents put their children on the bus by themselves, and especially at 14, old enough to get on the bus, do what they need to do. And she's not even defending herself, so I don't want to go there. And I understand what you're saying, but, she did this all the time. And just this predator, we blame the predator for what he did, because he's the culprit. He's the guy who took the dog. And, whatever happens, I know you want justice.
Justice will be served. The family does not seek the death penalty. We would like a plea of life without the possibility of parole, so you can sit there and think every day of what you did. And I want to ask that her birthday on the 12th of every year, June 12th, that you be isolated in solitary confinement with no jumpsuit, no t-shirts, no sheets where you can't take your life. I want you to sit there and think about what you did. I know he has nieces, nephews, probably daughters. To think of that. Not only has he alienated himself, your family has to deal with that. That you're a part of this man. It's sad. So it's loss, it's tragedies all the way around. It's not just for the DeFreeze family, but for the community. This man's family has to deal with what he's done, not once, but twice. Because his previous conviction, he served 4 years. Somebody needs to be held accountable for that, for releasing this man after 4.5 years for a heinous crime.
And they say justice is served, but is it ever really? When you think about these kinds of crimes, and they serve their time, they pay their debt to society, those who are on the follow the law, and then they come back out and they are allowed to do as this gentleman has done, this man has done. And that's just, it's heartbreaking to know that has happened. But out of all of this, there's something else that's happened. There's been a groundswell. There's been community support. There's been the Alana DeFreeze Make a Change Foundation that's formed out of this. Talk about that to us, what that means to you.
We're a nonprofit foundation comprised of people who are driven by the safety, education, and cultivation of all children. We desire to demolish abandoned structures in an effort to alleviate crime while bettering the community. We thank everyone for their support. This is a nonprofit foundation. We need support. We need help. We can't do this alone. We thank everyone for their support. We ask, please don't let this fire go out, because in our hearts it will never go out. It will never go out. This foundation was born from the death of Aliana. This is our baby in another form. This is her. She lives through this foundation. So we do this for the children of Cleveland. We do this for the women who are being brutally abducted as well. We need to make change. And we'll do everything we can in our power to make sure this happens.
I'm sure Greater Cleveland will reach out and do what they can as well. And we will definitely support you in your efforts to take down these abandoned houses, change the minds of people in the community, so that if they see something, say something, don't just let this kind of stuff go. You're going to stay with us. Our time to thank you very much for coming. We're going to switch you off with somebody right after this break here, and we'll be back. But God's speed to all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're going to continue to talk about the abduction and murder of his daughter, Aliana, and the good things that are coming about as a result of this tragedy. Gentlemen, I appreciate your being here, especially on today, which would have been Aliana's 15th birthday. We're talking about a community coming together. We're talking about we haven't mentioned a whole lot about Aliana's alert. Let's sort of go right there and talk about, as a result of what has happened, that you and other men went to the streets to make sure that young people got to school safely. Let's talk some about that, and then we'll talk about Aliana's alert down in Columbus and where that stands.
The foundation has 4 divisions. We have a safe route transportation to school, demolition of abandoned homes. Those will coincide with each other. We have a domestic violence division, homelessness, and police community relations. Those issues are important to rebirth the revitalization of the city, to be successful. It starts in the home, It starts in the home. We have to teach our children. For some reason, it seems like we've gotten away from that. From when you and I were growing up. I know times have changed, but the method in which you raise a child should never change. Carl Cook and I have been friends since 3rd grade. He's been instrumental in the community doing things for a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. So when my wife and I created this foundation, automatically the first person I thought of was Carl, because we were thrust into this life. We didn't ask for this life. So we choose to surround ourselves with knowledgeable people who can assist us and making the foundation go to where it needs to be.
Well, let's bring Carl into it. Carl, thank you very much for being
Thank
here.
you.
Appreciate it. Tell us about your commitment to the Aliana DeFreeze Make a Change Foundation. What it is you do and what it is you hope will come out as a result of it.
Well, one of the things, again, Damon mentioned, we've been friends for a very long time, since the 3rd grade. My position to this foundation is board chair. And one of the things that I want to do is build a successful, structured board where we can make a lot of these things be sustainable in this foundation. I think the most important thing is building community. We can put these different things together, but it's awareness to the families. It's awareness of how do we educate our children being safe. Parents, we have a lot of single parents, single mothers, and single fathers, but we need to educate them in how we want to make sure our children get to school safe. Educate them as well about how they can educate them in different ways of why we're going to school, how we're getting on the bus. What's your surrounding? This is the age where a lot of our children are looking at the iPad and the telephone and not paying attention. My own family, I educate my daughter about being aware of your surroundings. It's kind of the concept stranger danger. We are living in a society where there is some stranger danger, and our children are not aware of it. And we have to educate them. Back when I was growing up, we had the safety bear, and the safety this, and the safety that inside of our schools. One thing about this foundation, I want to bring that back. I want to bring that back to the schools through this agency, through this foundation. Of course, we talk about our school system that's running up and down in different financial issues. Well, we want to subsidize that by building a board. We want to bring the safety there. We want to bring the safety to our children. So I think the most important thing that we need to do as a foundation is get with the community. Get with the community, walk with the community, and just be successful in building these relationships with some of our families in poverty. I heard you say in the last segment that a lot of the different things we can look at on the website and put our zip codes in. I mean, we have families that's working 3-4 jobs, trying to keep the lights on, the gas on, this, that, and the other. Well, we want to try to simplify some of these things for them so they can be aware of what's in their neighborhood. So that's just the ongoing commitment that I'm going to dedicate myself and build, again, a viable board, a sustainable board. That way we can be sustainable as a foundation.
So you have a website. What is the website address, Damon? And we'll repeat that a couple of times so folks can get that.
The Aliana DeFreeze Foundation.com, Aliana DeFreeze Foundation at gmail.com, sheetsdefreeze@gmail.com.
Okay, very good. And that means that if folks want to get involved in this, and I don't know why anybody would not want to get involved in this, to keep the community abreast of what's going on, to get the community input, and to get the community active.
Absolutely.
Because, you got to have faith, with faith without deeds.
Absolutely.
So we want to make sure we find a way to make everybody aware, because kids only know what we teach them. They don't know what they haven't been exposed to. And if we don't tell them, if we don't teach them, they will not know, and they will fall prey to people like the man who did this to Eliana. We don't want that to ever happen again anywhere. We know it's going to happen, but if we can save one, it's better than having to save none.
Absolutely. I mean, with the community, I reach out to them, look at your children, look at #Ali, look at that, come support what we're doing. It will be the catalyst to the rest of the community as we go forward and save our children one child at a time, one family at a time. And that's what's going to be the plus in this foundation, is to make sure our children are getting to school safe.
Now, there's an event that happened yesterday. Unfortunately, we didn't get you guys on in time to promote it, but tell us about what happened yesterday and all of that.
That was in celebration of Aliana's life. We had a fundraiser. We had leg quarter dinners and chicken wing dinners and large beef hot dogs, and we had a variety of different foods, and we just appreciate the support. A lot of people came out and a lot of hugs, and we need that. Those are things that keep us going. We shed tears, but we got to keep going. Because I think about all these other children out here. We have to get through to them in any way. Like Carl mentioned, they have cell phones and iPads. We have to find a way to get through to them. If that's all they look at, we got to find a way to get through you today. If we got to scare it into you, we got to scare it into you. Because you have to let them know that this is real out here. It's not just about a Cavs game. It's not about just going outside. It's not about the little thing you spin on your finger. It's serious out here. They need to know the dangers.
There was a program that I think all three of us will remember. You guys are younger than I am, but probably there was a program called Scared Straight. Remember that?
Absolutely.
Where the adults who've been through it, I think it was in prison, they brought these kids in, and the guys who were in prison talked to them straight up, and just said, hey, this ain't no joke. What happens is real. What happens can take your life. And if we don't at least inform our kids of this possibility, it's one thing being a parent, it's one thing being a friend, but we need to be parent first.
Absolutely.
We need to give them us and not the iPad, the phone, or the Bluetooth device. They should not be babysitting or teaching our kids.
I preach that all the time. Your job is to be a parent. Your job is to be a parent. I say this every day. I go to the grocery store. I see children being disruptive, disobedient to their parents. I don't even know you. I step in immediately, whether it's to the child or to the parent. And it's amazing how someone else's child who doesn't even know me responds to me. Their parent will say, did you hear what he said? And they'll listen. Why does it take me to do that when you should have been doing that all along?
And also, Harry, working while we build this foundation, it is about a value change. We have parents, again, that's struggling, working 2-3 jobs, but for the most part, their value system is not there either. And one of the things we want to do with this foundation is educate our adults, and look at your value system. If it's not working, then we want to try to help you look at a different value system, because it's about our children, and it's also about them, as well. So that's very important as we go along in this foundation.
And nobody gets a pass. I remember when I was growing up, about 1,000 years ago, that my mother, my sisters older than me, my brothers, my extended family, the village, if you will, they were all there for me. If I did something wrong over at cousin Lucy's house or whatever else, my mother knew about it. If I did something wrong down the street before I got home, my mother knew about it. She was not happy. Happy slides. Let me take the time to say thanks to Damon DeFries and the Carl Cook. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for watching. We appreciate the fact you were here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Happy birthday, Albert.